attest to that. I do cook all the time, and well, right?
So well.
Thank you.
Nobody poaches an egg like you do.
I taught you how to poach an egg.
You completely taught me how to poach an egg.
Did you make one yet?
Not on my own.
Have I made you that radicchio pizza? I think I did. And the grill outside?
Oh, yeah.
You know.
So what's your favorite, what's your favorite recipe in the book is the first question.
Okay.
And the second question is, how do you stay so tiny?
Are you getting excited? And suddenly it's like no one's in this room. And then me and you are gonna be like doing an airplane on the floor in like 5 minutes.
Should we do an airplane?
It's not happening.
Sometimes
okay.
though when you get that expression on your face, and this is a story in the book.
About when?
Where she sometimes will hit me and she'll hit me, and so I'll grab her wrists. And one time when we were in DC, and you read this in the book, right?
Yeah.
I pushed her down onto the bed.
Sounds very sexual. Some guys would like love to hear that. You pushed me down on the bed. I'm like the luckiest girl in the world.
Because we were tickling each other.
Tickling each other, he said. It's getting worse.
And you peed yourself.
And I peed my pants.
Violently.
Okay, back to the question.
Yeah.
My favorite recipe in the book is definitely the jalapeno grilled cheese. I love grilled cheese sandwiches. I make them like every single night, and I do say sandwiches, and everyone at Glee makes fun of me for saying it like that. And then what was? Oh, and how do I stay so tiny?
Yeah.
I eat what I work out so I can eat whatever I want, and I have fun working out. I make it a fun experience. But you'll never hear anyone talk more about food or enjoy food more than me. And I really believe if you enjoy what you eat, and if you're eating well, then you'll be healthy. And tiny.
What about exercise?
Well, tell him, Jonathan, how do we exercise? We do everything, right? So, okay, just a few weeks ago, we did, in like 1 or 2 weeks, we did Barry's boot camp. We did hot yoga together, which he sweat so bad. You guys, it was a pool around him. I was embarrassed. And when the class was over, I was like,
you have to clean that up.
And so I run on my treadmill.
Yeah.
Sometimes when John's staying with me and he's going to an event, he'll be getting all glammed up, and I'll run on my treadmill while he's like, and he'll be like, we call each other mom and dad. Mom. He'll be like, look at you on that treadmill.
It's so inspiring. You do a big incline when you do that treadmill.
Of course. I mean, why not? Why would I listen to music?
You do the...
No, I don't listen to my songs, but I listen to like Beyonce.
That's true.
That's yours. Congratulations. All right, what's the next question?
We also, you introduced me to my first trainer.
I did. Well, my trainer that's in the book, Devin, who's a really good friend of mine, I introduced to Jonathan a couple years back, and I said to him, oh, you should work out with Devin. He's like, I'm not working out with a girl. And she ended up totally like changing your life, right?
I worked out with her for 1.5 years. We trained together. She told me everything I know.
So there you go. He works out with her as well.
She's awesome.
Okay, what's another good question?
What is something that you either A, wrote in the book that you regret?
Ooh.
And B, something that you really wish you would have put into this version of the book?
Okay. Well, let's see. So
you can answer either of them. If there's not something you can regret,
right.
like what's something that you wanted to put in?
Well, I did write a lot in the book about you coming out to me and what that was like. And I remember Corey telling me, like, when he read the book, he said, you have to be, let's be easy. He said that you gotta be careful because you're talking about someone. So I edited that a lot. I edited down that chapter a lot because I think in writing the book, it was very important to think about the people that I was talking about. And I really wanted to talk about everyone a lot, but when you do these things, and even when I do interviews and stuff, and people ask me about cast members or stuff that's going on in the show, the reason why a lot of people don't like to talk about it is because you're talking about someone else and you have to take them into consideration, how it might affect them. So that's something that I don't regret putting it in the book, because I did, trim it down. I really don't regret anything because I had a lot of, time with the book. And then what I wish that I would have added into it was I do wish I could have gotten a little bit deeper in the Glee chapter, like I mentioned, just because, there's so much that I would have wanted to talk about. When I read it, it's sort of a little bit of like just a good overall understanding of what the show is like, but definitely maybe in the future, like I said, down the road when, we have another year left. And then, what is that? I mean, I'm 27, so I think we've got some time for that.
Maybe it'll be a biography and I'll write it. I'll write it.
I'm totally cool with that. Love you, Lea!
Oh.
Thank you. Okay, what's next?
Oh, I love you too. I want to know what your process was like. Like for those, okay, so let's say that there are some people in the audience here today that are interested in writing, and there are some. Well, I want to know what your like inspiration, what your process, like what you're writing. Like we know your actor self, we know your singer self, but what's like Lea Michele the writer? What is she like?
Well, basically what I did when I first got my book deal was, the thing is that when in order to get a book, you have to at least come out with an outline, and the outline is at 50 pages alone. So you get a good chunk of the book done just when you're pitching it to people. So what I did first is I outlined every chapter, or I just at least wrote whatever the chapters in order. Which is sort of weird because maybe I don't know if other people along the way be like, oh, and the next chapter will be this, and the next chapter will be that. But for me, I said, okay, these are the chapters. And then I went in and I did the outlines for the chapters. So for example, with Glee, I was like, okay, so first I want to talk about getting the part, then I want to talk about the experience of the show, and then I want to talk about some fan questions, and then I want to talk about favorite memories. And so then I had a good outline of what that chapter would look like. Then I would go home at night and I would take out my recorder and I would say, okay, Glee, season, getting the part of Glee on September 3rd, I auditioned for Glee, and then I would record it. So it was really just about kind of like making an outline and then going in bit by bit by bit by bit until at the end of the day, I had my whole book.
And so it came from also too like talking, like it wasn't you like Carrie Bradshaw.
No, I'm not a good typer, and I often have very long nails. And you can't even, it just was not, wouldn't work. And I don't even own a computer. I just have my phone. I'm not really technologically savvy. I think my computer is from 99 or something like that.
It's a big computer.
So I would just basically record everything, and then I eventually had to get to a computer to just lay it all out. But it was mainly on my recorder.
Had you written before, even a journal or anything in your life? Was writing something you ever aspired to, or is it something that came because of the time you were at in your career in your life?
I mean, I think as far as school, I wrote in school, and I was always a little intimidated by writing. But I think that for this book, I just had so much that I wanted to say, and I think I have so much I want to say for the second book. So as long as I feel like I have stuff that I want to talk about, then then it doesn't feel as intimidating.
I want to drift from the writing for a second.
Okay.
That's okay. I know we're Barnes and Noble. But I feel like we should talk about your music video that just came out. It had 1 million views in a day. And I guess I want to know, you showed me in a hotel lobby a couple of weeks ago, and I was blown away by it. I think it's so amazing. You've never looked better. It's incredible. How do you feel in the reception now that the video is out in the world? How do you feel about it?
Oh, I'm so happy with it. I mean, I had a very clear idea of what I wanted the video to look like, and when I picked my director, her name was Hannah, and she did a lot of Miley videos, and I just thought that she was super cool, and she would bring